But you were saying about the card stuff now. What were you saying?
Yeah, I'm just checking it out, and yeah, it's been pretty good so far, man. I'm
So,
get that beat tweet real quick.
you think it's gonna be better than the other one, Shadowverse? You think it's gonna be better than Shadowverse?
I don't know. See, alright, with Riot behind it, the esports scene is definitely gonna be big. The thing is, Shadowverse's esports scene is fucking huge. You just don't realize it. Like, Hearthstone is big, you know, in a EU, China. Shadowverse has a huge, you know, Japanese fucking group following. There's a lot of people in the EU and that play it already. A lot of people who are playing Runeterra in the beta weren't Hearthstone players, but Shadowverse players. I mean, obviously they got some big name Hearthstone people in there too, if you want to get as much as you can. So it was a lot of people from these games with Magic the Gathering playing it. And it's a different beast from Shadowverse, for sure. Like, just the way it's played, declaring attackers and blockers. Like, they just some of the. This game definitely fits what people are saying that, you know, it's a clone, it's like a mashup between Magic and Hearthstone. That's what a lot of people say. And I get it, because in Magic you declare blockers, while in Hearthstone you just attack the creature you want to hit or the person or whatever. You know, so. But I honestly like the back and forth flow of the game and the freedom that it provides. Like, you can kind of jump around in the phases as long as you go through all of them. But everything you do, the opponent gets a chance to respond. So it's almost like Tekken in a way, because that's the only game I think as far as digital card games, it really gives you a chance to respond to everything that the person does. And the different spell speeds of cards like that, slow, fast, or burst, is definitely like Magic the Gathering in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you already know the characters, because these are legendary characters, they've been around for 10 years, even if you don't play these, you know of them, you know. So you know of these characters, you know some of the lore, you see the card interactions, like I can play card X and then card Y says something in response to that card being played, and it's just these fun interactions. It's got these cute little animations that are dope. Like these little touches that you know you would think you would see in a digital card game more, but you don't really see. Like, it's a digital card game, it's a video game, so why can't there be fancy animations and things like that, you know?
True.
You don't want them, the option to turn them off should be there. But like, why can't they be there? Like, I'm still surprised to this day that there's not a Yu-Gi-Oh one that every time you play a card, there's some giant fucking monster and shit like that, you know?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, I felt like that would have been easy. It was like, yeah, I get you. There's kind of issues on doing it in real life. But I mean, damn, why can't I have a video game? Like, you know how it took this long to get an MMO Pokemon, and people are just like, you know, why did that take so damn long? But why isn't there an MMO fucking card game like Yu-Gi-Oh? You know, like, you remember how you watched the videos?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched like the first season, then
The Battle City thing where they were just walking around and then they just, hey, calling you out, and then you know they were fucking playing cards in the street.
yeah.
I'm just saying, that would be some dope social interaction shit right there. Like, can you imagine you playing an MMO, you walking around, all of a sudden you see two dudes just fucking PvPing in the middle of the street, but it's a card game. That'd be fucking hilarious.
I mean, but you already know those people would somebody be running around cheesing with Exodia or something like that.
Yeah, but it'd be funny to watch, and I would sub to that just cause.
Oh my gosh.
I would sub to that just cause, so I can run around, call this motherfucking giant monsters
Oh, and then you just summon. You get your first 5 cards. Exodia, game over.
The luck required for that. Like I know a dude that tried that shit in real life. He had fucking a deck goes around Exodia, and he pulled 3 pieces of Exodia. So he pulled 2 of like as the game played out, he kept trying so hard to like pull out the pieces he needed, and he ended up with like 2 legs, 2 arms, and like but the 2 legs was the same leg. He had 2 different arms, same leg, and a head. He couldn't fish out that last fucking leg. So he needed them to be the opposite one, and it was just funny as hell. Cause this dude just like, oh, so you're going for Exodia, just kept beating him in the face before he could fucking get to it.
Did he do his life push? Hey.
Oh, man, at least we had a homie that used to do that for real.
That's still the funniest thing I think I've seen. Like somebody playing cards. Oh, 2,000 damage. I was like, yo, get the F out of here, dude. I was like, this guy doing real life Yu-Gi-Oh. All right, man. All right. But yeah, it seems like you really enjoyed that game, though. And like, I mean, as you're the local. You're the card game dude. You know, so it's just like.
I just like competitive gaming, honestly, man. And I like putting myself against other people, whether that's solo or on a team, as long as it's for fun. Like I ain't trying to be that dude that's out there just starting fights for nothing and all that, obviously. But I mean, the idea of like, let us put our skills against each other and see who comes out on top. Let's both get a little bit better while we do it, Like,
right.
we just have some fun, man. Like that's what I'm all about. I love that kind of stuff.
I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I mean, the question becomes then: Are you going to still be playing them when all this? Tree in 2 weeks or whatever?
Man, hey, I was talking with my guild about it. Obviously, some of the people in there are not as excited about the fresh start as I am, and I get it. It's like when your guild's owning 2 of the so there's like multiple areas that you PvP to control and whatnot, and when you're controlling multiple areas at the same time, you ain't so eager to go back to the bottom when you at the top.
True.
So I understand some of them, but like I got a lot of homies that are interested in the game now that weren't so much back in the day, and then like people who thought about trying the game out, but they're like, I'm so far behind, there's so much to do, and I don't understand how this works, and there's nobody to run content with because they're already at the end of the game, so they don't have to solo half the stuff without really grouping up with anybody. So a lot of the newer players just could log in, and for them it seems like the game is dead because there's nobody to do anything with, but that's because the other 98% is at the end of the game already. So it's kind of like arcades, it's hard to get into the regular server now.
Right. Right.
So I'm looking forward to that because like I have, me, like we've talked about it before. I think honestly part of the most fun you've had in any MMO is the leveling process. With the exception of the modern day MMO where it's like, oh, you're still leveling? Don't worry, the game hasn't started yet. Like, wait, what? I mean, I've been playing for like a week and I'm not even really starting yet. Like, nah, man, wait till you get to the end game. That's when the game starts. Like, I hate that saying.
Right.
I get how it is, but like, I just, it's not my favorite thing about the MMO genre. I like the idea of getting with my homies, grouping up, doing content, and I don't feel like I should have to wait, 60 plus hours in to start doing that.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah. I mean, it's always better. That's what I say every time when I'm dabbling in these MMOs. I'm like, dang, I wish the homies would play or something. You know what I mean? It's just like because it gets boring. I get bored really quickly if I'm playing like a game by myself. It has to keep me entertained with some kind of like element, like multiple classes or something like that, in order to keep my attention. Otherwise, I'm just like I'm over it. I'm already over it. Like Star Wars is like the one exception because I've already been invested in it for so long, like playing the original KOTORs and stuff like that. But any other MMO?
I think Star Wars gets a pass for a lot of people because of the same reason that Warcraft got a pass when you started playing it back in the day. You know, like the lore,
Right.
the story, even though it's in MMO form, it's still as good as any other RPG you've ever played.
Right.
They didn't skip on the RPG part, you know.
Right.
So you play through the game, the lore is dope. You can solo through that story a little bit more likely than you could in like I played Final Fantasy 11 for like years, and I honestly don't even remember half the lore. I remember spending most of my time
grinding with the party. Yeah, statics.
But I do remember stories of like shit going wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, of course.
Like, how many MMOs have like at one point we were getting like 3 to 4 new MMOs a year, you know, and you would try them out, and like you don't even remember half the shit you did in there.
Right.
Like the most notable exception is like probably Bless. You remember that because it fucking sucks so bad that you just
trash.
remember the terribleness.
Straight trash. Straight trash.
Like Bless is like the MMO equivalent of somebody farting in the elevator. You remember it because it was a terrible experience, you know.
Yep. Indeed. The KOTOR remake, yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's not anything official. It's rumors, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. There better not be any damn loot boxes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my goodness, no! Get that word out of my MMO.
You better not be any damn loot boxes.
Single player game or MMO should not have a fucking loot box.
Because I mean, you know, EA, man, I need BioWare to come out swinging again, man. They were at the pinnacle during those years. They were at the pinnacles. Yeah. My guy, Rio, Raul, what's up, man? Oh my goodness, man, it's cold as shit over here, dude. It's like,
y'all too, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Oh my goodness.
Man, I had like a chill in my bones yesterday, and it's crazy because like I'm sitting here, I'm inside, and I'm still wearing a damn hoodie with like It's not like I'm sitting here in my PJs, you know, and I'm still cold. I'm just like, dang.
All right. Okay. Woo. Where's it at? Got it about 30 seconds. A little pre-show for you guys. A little pre-show. I should have said if you can. I'll just message him if you can jump in. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, what is going on, people? What is going on? Happy hump day. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the Topcast. We're episode 5. We made it. We made it 5. Yay. We didn't get canceled yet, but this might be the last one though. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're here with the usual suspect, Sleepy Boy. I'm just going to call you Sleepy Boy. I'm getting tired of attaching that number. You need to change your name, sir.
Yeah, I know. I gotta drop all that.
You need to, yeah, you need to change your name. You need to change your name. So a little bit of house cleaning before we get into today's topics. You said stop playing Smite on the box and complete. No, I didn't stop playing. Well, yeah, on the Xbox, yeah, but I still play it on PC because I got the squad to play it with. So I mean, if you're ever on, just hit me up. But I mean, yeah, man, how was your weekend? How was your week going? Anything new?
Weekend was crazy. Super busy. Wife went to the hospital. She's fine. Just throw that out there now. But yeah, went to the hospital. So it was just me alone with kids trying to keep in contact with her and check on her. So yeah, it's a super busy weekend. But she's fine. Baby's fine, and just tired after all that.
Right. Girl number 3,
We
right? On the way. Girl
Yeah.
number 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be actually no, it's gonna be girl number 4.
Oh,
Just
okay.
4 girls. Yeah, I know, man. I'm gonna have enough to get a fucking WNBA team going real soon here, man. Like, so I'm hoping that they get that good money eventually.
So they can take care of you at the end game. So you
Yeah,
just be like, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, teach them how to post up, get these rebounds, and go out there and get their own college paid for it. But
True. Anything going on in games with you, man?
games, yes. I've been playing the crap out of Runeterra, but you already know that.
Mm,
Other than that, just waiting to see what happens with this Fallout with Street Fighter. Since I know you're not a fighting game dude, I'm just gonna fill you in.
right.
They've been having shit online fighting game connections in fighting games for years. Well, they came out with a something rollback netcode helps fix that, makes connections twice as good, and makes it way easier for people to fucking play from further away. And without even getting into it, the problem has been that people have been refusing to use this thing, even though it's proven to work and make the game play better for everybody.
Mm,
Well, one guy went and made a patch for the PC version of Street Fighter, threw that in the wild, and people have been testing it and playing with it, and it works. It makes everything way better online.
mm,
And it took him 2 days to reverse engineer this with zero access to the code. And now the community is torn because obviously, if you're on a console, you can't apply this patch because it's a mod.
right.
So the console people are just seeing terrible, like, oh, Dio Brando Zawato rerunning in their fighting games, while fucking people who have this thing on the PC are just seeing the best gameplay they've ever seen online. So the community's torn. People on PlayStation are like they split the community again. They're messing up the game for everybody and
Mm,
whatnot using this mod. The PC people is like, I don't see what you're talking about. This is the best I've ever had.
right. Right.
And so that's where we're at right now. And Capcom, everybody is waiting to see how they handle this, how they address this. And like they made a cryptic tweet saying, we see it and we're going to look into it. But
Mm,
like, yeah, we know you see it. You got to see it. Like half the community is on the internet flaming you right now. And it don't help that people have been telling them to do something about it for like 3.5, 4 years now. So yeah, fighting game, yeah, Street Fighter in specific is it's getting bad.
mm. Yeah, well, I mean, when a community gets
Not a-
split like that, yeah, it can tend to get pretty vicious, so to speak. I mean, don't they have do they have more people playing on PC or console? Do you know?
well, definitely more on PC now, thanks to
Mm,
that. I mean, PC already has some advantages because PC you get to apply mods. So if you don't want to buy skins and all that kind of stuff, you could just make your own or download them and whatnot. But the console version is it's easy to optimize something for a console, so you don't have to worry about, oh, can my PC run it or whatever.
right.
But more and more people have been switching to the PC version of it, and then thanks to this thing, I guarantee you, there's more people on PC than PlayStation playing that game right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You can cut out a lot of the middlemen doing stuff on doing stuff on PC, uh, which makes it a lot easier.
Bag.
But yeah, I mean, you ready to get into it, man? I mean, we talked
Yeah,
to see everything doing.
let's get
So,
into this madness.
all right. Well, I mean, we'll start off by of course, heavy hearts and thoughts sent out to Vanessa, Vanessa Bryant. Of course, if you don't know, Kobe and his daughter passed away, along with a JUCO baseball coaching legend and his family on Monday, due to a helicopter crash. Um, it was really it was Monday, right? Monday or
Oh,
Tuesday?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Okay, yeah. Literally the day after LeBron passed him on the all-time scoring list. I was just like, that is wild. to hear something like that. Um, so thoughts out to them. Thoughts out to his wife and family. Well, our prayers are with you. Hopefully, you get through everything. But the crazy thing is, and this is what I wanted to get into because I'm already starting to see articles about this. Is people the man hasn't okay, the man's been gone for 2 days, and people are already writing articles about, yeah, he passed away, but let's not forget all the stuff, the negative stuff he did, like his affairs and everything like that. And I was just like, bro, you can't. This man literally, like, the magnitude that this man had on the world, and you're gonna sit there and try to bring up all this stuff when not everybody's even done healing yet. I'm like, that's kind of it's kind of out of line, in my opinion. I mean, if you want to do that maybe like a month down the road or something like that, that's fine or whatever. But literally 2 days after the man's gone, you're already starting to do these articles. And I don't know any of the news sources. Like, this is stuff I've seen scrolling on Facebook, and the occasional tweet that somebody sends out on Twitter. But what do you think about, like, that kind of thing that's happening right now? I mean, it seems like this cancel thing is getting a little bit out of line.
All right. Well, I mean, in my opinion, honestly, nothing's sacred anymore. Like
Right.
the dude just literally passed away. His family's still going through all this hurt right now. There's other families involved in this, and right now, the last thing any of them want to hear is, "Oh, but don't forget what Kobe did back in the day." Like, all right, the person that like this, if the person that was affected by whatever he might have done in the past, allegedly, is him passing away is not going to help them.
Right.
It's not going to hurt them. What happened happened, and they're going to deal with it how they deal with it. So they don't need you stepping up and doing all this here, thinking it's going to do something for that person. But you know who is affected by you posting this stuff? His kids that are still here, his wife that's still here, the people who looked up to the dude that are still here. Like, there was no need for this, any of it whatsoever, in my opinion. It was pointless, other than for its shock value.
I mean, to
I
get
just
clicks. I
see,
mean, yeah, we
yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's just terrible. Like, people have to step down from the what do we gotta do to get these clicks, to get these views, and it's just like, think about it. Like, if you'd shown like a little bit of grace on that at all, it would have come across much better.
right. That's what I'm
That's all
saying.
I can think of.
And that's what I was saying. It was like, that's why I was saying, like, if you dropped it maybe a month or something, like, give it some time. Like, if you want to do that stuff, that's fine. I know, understand you got to get your clicks or whatever the case may be, but that soon, it seems like it's too soon. Too soon to, like, start doing that stuff or making jokes about the tragedy that happened and things of that nature. But it's just really crazy to see that not even 48 hours after this man's gone, like, you start bringing that stuff up. But I guess I can ask you this question. I don't know if you're a big sports fan, but did you have any memories that, or things that Kobe might have impacted in your life?
I mean, I remember obviously back when Shaq and him first got together, and it was just like, what's gonna happen now? Like,
Mm,
who's gonna stop? Because like Kobe, when he came out, Kobe, everybody knew who he was. The kid came straight out of high school and
mm,
started dominating. And then Shaq was one of those guys that when he first showed up, did the same thing, and everybody knew Shaq was this force. Like, you don't stop Shaq. Like, the time where Shaq was able to be stopped ended almost like a year or two after he came in the league, because every big man who was on par with him was leaving.
right.
And these guys were only outdoing Shaq because they had the experience on how to deal with another guy like Shaq. I mean, these were, you had your Matumbos, your Patrick Ewings, your Elijah ones. Like, that was the era of big men. And then Shaq came in at the end of that and was still running with them like that.
Mm,
And all of those guys said, "All right, well, we're retiring." And Shaq was like, "Well, I guess I'm king of this mountain now."
basically.
And then you put that guy with Kobe, and people were like arguing about which one of them was like the more important one. It was like, yeah, but how do you deal with either? If you focus all your energy on one, you can't deal with the others. So like that was just the Lakers. That's how they got them 5 rings. Marvel just put out something where they showed Kobe and he's got the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's his 5 NBA rings.
Okay, that's pretty
Like,
cool. That's pretty cool.
there's a reason why that's a thing, man. This guy, like, yo, he Kobe was that guy, man,
Mm,
that did things that nobody else at the time thought was even like feasible for a guy to do. And he had this killer instinct that, like, they talk about that now. People always flame people about not having that killer instinct, but that's because they grew up watching somebody like Kobe,
right.
who, if he touched the ball, it was like Randy Orton, man. Like he's out of nowhere, and he's gonna get, Kobe
Right.
is gonna score. Like so I just remember watching him and the Lakers and him making Kobe made it cool for you to root for somebody other than your home team, if you
Hmm.
had a home team. Most people always root for the home team, but if your team wasn't in there, you could root for Kobe.
Right.
That's how popular and well loved that guy was in the sport of basketball. And as an adult, my biggest thing that I loved about Kobe was the things he did after basketball, honestly, though.
Hmm.
He helped out with his community doing soccer coaching and things like that. He coached his daughter's team. The other coaches and dads and family members said, like, we thought Kobe was gonna come in and like take over and what are we gonna do? Because it's Kobe Bryant, but
Hmm.
he was just there to help and he was always helping. And the parents ended up loving him, kids ended up loving him. He used to do things all the time, just like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to be a better dad. Most people quit sports and then do something sports adjacent,
Right.
you know,
Right.
commentary and what have you. Kobe didn't do that. Kobe quit and then went to go be a dad, and I thought that was like the most coolest thing ever. As one dad to or myself, I was like, yo, like that's awesome that he could just put all of his things and then all of himself into his kids like that. So like whatever, if like whether it's sports band or whatever, that's what I one of the things I learned from Kobe that I want to pick up. Like when my daughters get old enough to start doing whatever they do, once they get into it like that, I want to put myself into them the way he did with his kids.
Mm. And that's commendable. And me personally, I wasn't the biggest Kobe fan. Like when like growing up watching him and things like that. But I appreciated the artwork, the artistry that he provided when he was playing. Of course, everybody remembers the 81 points he dropped, which I thought was pretty much outrageous. Like, it was like, how do you let this man score 81 points on your team and you don't like double, triple team something? Stop this man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like just put everybody in front of
put
Kobe. Lift his
everybody
hands
in
up.
front of
Make
Kobe.
him pass the ball.
Exactly. It's like, how do you not stop that? But I can, like you said, I can definitely appreciate everything he did off the court. Like he made the societies that he attached himself to better and provided a lot of wisdom and knowledge to people that were trying to come into the game or trying to, craft their game, that information that they may have needed. And I know a lot of pro players were like, yeah, Kobe was my go-to guy, to talk about to improve my game and things like that. And that's something that, I can really appreciate because not a lot of people really do those kind of things.
Yeah,
When they're in sports, they get in, get theirs, and get out. Um, which I mean is perfectly fine because a lot of sports, end up messing up your body and stuff like that. But the one thing that I think that kind of, and this is going to something else that kind of frustrated me is I see on Twitter, especially like after this was after this news broke, is that I see a lot of tweets of people like, "Oh, call your families, call your loved ones. You don't have much time left in this world and things like that." And it was like, well, yeah, obviously, but why does it take something like this to have those things brought out in people when it can't just be done naturally 24/7 or whenever, you know what I mean? Like that was the kind of thing that kind of put me off about the whole thing was that everybody's now using their soapbox like, oh, be nice to everybody and stuff like that when probably 50% of them didn't even give a damn about what was, what's going on in other people's lives and stuff like that. But then they use that not necessarily as a stepping stone, but something to push their agenda or whatever the case may be.
Well, that's in my opinion. That's because most social media, a lot of people like to be on there and project this image of what they are instead of how they actually are. And I
Right.
mean, we all know that, and we all do it to a certain degree. But a lot of people have the bumpers. Social media is like a bumper sticker on a car back in the day to them. Like, you see the people with the bumper sticker that says, I rescued a dog, or he rescued me, even, when they try to make it sound like the dog saved their life or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I get it. Your dog is important to you. And I'm actually glad that you got a rescue instead of spending butt ton of money on a dog that was, inbred to force it to have certain traits and whatnot. You said, no, I'm gonna go. There's a perfectly good dog that needs a home right here, and you went and got that one. So I actually appreciate that. But why do you need to share that with everybody else? Just be happy you got your dog.
Right.
Like it's one of those things to me. You don't need to tell me you donated money to St. Jude. Just donate money to St. Jude.
Right. Yeah. That
Like,
it's just wild. Like I started, of course, like I said, once that news broke, everybody started, tweeting out, "Oh, call your loved ones," stuff like that. It's like I talk to my mother every Sunday. Like that has been our agreement since I left the home. It's like we talk every Sunday. It's not something, I'm obligated to do. It's just something I want to do because you never know. You know what I mean? So like seeing those kind of tweets, it was kind of like, shouldn't you be doing that stuff from the get go, verbatim, like your loved ones? I mean, I know people may have estranged relationships with their loved ones and stuff like that, but you should even then, a simple text, it's like, "Hey, I'm still breathing, I'm alive," something like that, letting them know that you're okay is more than enough for some people. So it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way seeing those kind of tweets come out. And I'm just like, okay, but I mean, I get it. I get it from a social media standpoint. It was just something that was really off-putting in that it took something of that magnitude, somebody's death, to promote those kind of tweets when, that should be something that's a given.
yeah. Sometimes it's like that though. Sometimes people just, sometimes people need something to use to take a step to say something that should be obvious, to everybody else.
Right.
Like if you care about people, check on them. It doesn't have to be every day, but just check on the people you care about. Just, hey, what's up? Thinking about you. Want to make sure you're all right. You good? All right. That's
That's
it.
it.
Doesn't require a lot.
That is it. 30 seconds. 30 seconds out your day. I mean, they may not respond immediately, but it means a lot to some of those people that it's like, oh, well, this person was thinking about me. Let me, let me,
Yeah.
let me respond or whatever. And you never know. It may lead to something else, an opportunity or something like that down the road. But continuing on with this whole cancel thing. I did you watch the Joe Rogan podcast when Robert Downey Jr. was on it? Or
No, I caught clips of it because it went viral.
right.
And I hats off to Joe Rogan. Every damn thing that he does like seems to go viral in one way or another, man. Like, and I get it. He's a comedian. He's easy to be around. People know he knows. He's a real chill dude. And then at the same time, he knows his shit. He's been around just so many different types of people, from MMA because he did his own thing there and he knows his shit there. Writing for other people, as far as comedians go, like the dude knows his shit. So, and he's made a lot of connections. But this shit was crazy to me.
So
Like,
to put it in context for the people that are listening and are watching, Robert Downey Jr. was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and the topic came up about blackface essentially, and this was regarding the movie Tropic Thunder that came out I think over 10 years ago, something like that. And they were speaking on it, and basically what Robert Downey Jr. was saying is that the whole point of the character being in blackface was to display how ridiculous it is to portray, those kind of characters in movies, And even the fact that they had another character calling him out on his actions that he was doing in the movie should have explained the whole situation that was going on. But of course, the clips that were taken from Joe Rogan's podcast were put out of context or whatever, and people are saying that they were upset that Robert Downey Jr. was in blackface, but his character was basically hired to play a a black guy in a Vietnam movie. So what he said, I'm a dude playing the dude disguised as another dude, was basically the whole concept of the character. And people didn't understand. Like, if they haven't seen the movie, you need to watch the movie because there's a lot of things that are broken down in that movie as far as like social aspects. But I just think it was interesting. 10 years after this movie came out, they're calling for him, being upset about him playing a character. And I just want to get your thoughts on it before I go any further. But I just thought it was kind of ridiculous, in my opinion.
I mean, all right, like you said, this movie came out like 10 years ago, at least. And as he said, if you ain't seen the movie, you gotta watch it. It's a fucking hilarious parody. It's a movie about making a movie, and shit happens. And it's Ben Stiller. So if you like, if you like any of his movies, go ahead and check it out. But yeah, they got RDJ in there, and it's fucking awesome. Tom Cruise is in this movie, and you don't even fucking know it,
Right.
but he fucking killed this movie as well. Like, it's just fucking all around great movie. But on the topic, RDJ is not doing blackface. He's playing a guy who is playing a guy who does blackface. Now, would RDJ walk around just do blackface if it wasn't for the the sheer absurdity of this? I don't think so. I don't think this dude is racist at all. I don't think he has like, if you know about RDJ's history, you know what he did before he became Iron Man, which was where he was basically the real life version of Tony Stark. This dude partied his ass off, hung out with models, was rich as shit, super rich philanthropist, playboy, billionaire. He just didn't have a fucking suit. He did everything Tony Stark did in the comics and all that shit. Partied his ass off, went to rehab, and during that whole time he was doing that, he hung out with pretty much other super rich, famous people, including rappers, drug dealers, pimps, and all that. And a lot of these people, actors or not, were black people. And he was doing the same shit right there alongside them. Jamie Foxx actually though comments on this here, if I remember correctly. I don't know how long ago it was, but this was again on Joe Rogan's podcast. But I'm pretty sure we could dig up the clip if you want to see it. I can find it and send it to you. But he addresses this. RDJ was not mocking black people. He was not being like, I'm gonna take the culture or any of that kind of stuff. Remember, he didn't sign up to play a black guy. He signed up to play a white guy playing a black guy, which is not a role you can give a black guy. You can't hire a black guy to do blackface. It's not possible.
Right.
But you can hire a white guy to play another white guy that does blackface. That's just, I'm sorry, this is how it is. Like, but he was making fun of white people doing blackface in this fucking movie. Like, you have to have context. You have to look at the entire picture. You can't just see a snapshot of time and say, "Oh, that's racist." This is ignorant, in my opinion. And it fucks it up because when we do call some shit out, people are gonna be like, "I don't know. We gotta look at it and maybe question it a little bit more than we need to because y'all already crying wolf on something." And this is not the first instance of somebody crying wolf over this whole fucking blackface racism shit. Like, it's no different than when a girl, to me, calling false racism is no different than when women call fucking false rape. Like, you can't just throw that shit out there. You got to be careful with that because you fuck it up for people down the line who have real instances of things. And I like, this is my opinion. That's it. I'm not speaking for tack on this one. This is just me. But I think that whenever you call something out, I'm not saying you need to have fucking videographic or photographic proof, but you need to make sure that when you call something out, you don't just say it out of anger. And if you're not involved in a situation, you need to try to get as many facts around every goddamn part of it as possible before you make a call or that might affect somebody's entire life. Robert Downey Jr. ain't doing nothing to hurt nobody. He's been nothing but kind to everybody, especially since he got out of rehab and became Iron Man and became fucking America's one of our favorite and most beloved actors. The dude just played a guy in a movie that did blackface. He did not do blackface. I mean, it's not like he didn't fucking put on like Eminem fucking had on a Will Smith mask. Does that make him do blackface because he put on a Will Smith mask? Like we get where do we draw the line on this shit?
Right.
Like if there was a little boy that wanted to be Martin Luther King for his for his they did a presentation and all this stuff, and the kid wanted to be Martin Luther King, and his mom was like, "Why?" And he said, "Because he's an awesome person, and I want to be like him when I grow up and help a lot of people." So the mom said, "Okay, just put him in a suit. Didn't put no makeup or nothing like that on him. Just put him in a suit." And people flamed because this kid said he was Martin Luther King for his presentation. It's like it's a first grader, and he wants to be like Martin Luther King. We should all aspire to be that awesome. Like we got to draw a line somewhere.
And I think the bigger issue with a lot of the stuff that goes on is people just see the title of something or a picture or snapshot. They don't click for context. They don't read into the article, and maybe they read into the article skewed a certain way to make them perceive something as what the writer is trying to perceive it as, and that's I think that's the bigger issue with a lot of society today, is that I feel like a lot of people can't formulate their own opinions, to be honest with you. Like they can't sit down and look at things from both sides of the spectrum and formulate their own opinion. They have to, rah, get the pitchforks. I got to be in with the in crowd instead of sitting back and like, oh, maybe this is the right or wrong thing that's going on here. And so I think that's the major thing that I see nowadays, is that the lack of self-judgment for a lot of people. It's just always, oh, this person's the gospel, whatever they say. It's the drone mentality, hive mind, essentially. I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I mean, you can't stop cancel culture because some people just want to find something to be outraged about.
Right.
And people, honestly, with the rise of the internet, we've gotten more and more into that. People just find things to be mad about and start, becoming keyboard warriors. And next thing you know, there's a fucking movement to stop somebody from doing something because a guy on the internet felt it was offensive, even if they had nothing to do with the situation. It's just crazy. Like, and it's funny because you can't get half of these outraged people to do something in real life that would make things better, but they can go online and bitch about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part they can do.
It's just wild, man. I just thought it was, like I said, I saw the Kobe thing and the RDJ thing, and I was just like, it all within a week and a half of each other. It's just like this is getting a little bit out of line. Like I guarantee you, half the people that are mad probably haven't even seen the movie. Like they're just, oh, this was 10 years ago. Oh, let me just join the in crowd.
You know what's crazy? If you did see the movie, then you might remember this. They did a thing in that movie where they did trailers for other movies that the actors in the movie
right before the movie played. They did the trailers for other movies. I know what you're talking about.
So, like one of the actual actors in the movie played a rapper.
Booty sweat. Booty sweat.
And he played a rapper. He did that, and then he turned out to be gay. toward the end of it. But I don't think Brandon Jackson's gay in real life. And if he is, whatever, but I don't think he is. But that he's an actor, he did it for the role. RDJ in that same movie, his trailer shows him playing a priest who's fucking Toby Maguire of all fucking people. And
Right.
Spider-Man was fucking Iron Man in his fucking trailer. And I don't think either of them are fucking each other in real life. But
Right.
you don't see anybody saying RDJ is gay and posting clips of them kissing and shit
Right.
like that online.
Exactly.
Like it's insane to me, man.
And pick one focal point and focus on that. But there's so much other stuff. I mean, even if
Like,
they did
bro,
it,
the
there's
black face is real, but the rest of it is not.
right. It's just like, come on, dude. Oh my goodness. It just gives me a headache. It gives me a headache seeing all this stuff. Well, not even all day, every day, but just at least once a week. It's just something that comes out and just like, but why though? As Derwin would say, right?
Yeah, and the dude is Australian on top of that in
Right.
this fucking movie. So, like, for people, I'm gonna assume most of the audience is from America. As somebody who's been other places, I'll let you know right now. There's no blackface outside of America. We're the only ones to do that. Other cultures actually have whole things set up where people put on makeup that would be considered blackface here to celebrate black people and they're white. There's a whole thing like that up in like the Netherlands where they
Yeah.
celebrate the Moors, black people, by putting on black as shit, like cold, damn near black makeup, and they do that for a big ass celebration. We only have that here, so the character wouldn't even be aware of blackface as an Australian person in this movie. So even the RDJ that don't exist didn't do blackface. Like it's all right. I'm sorry.
I mean, he said it the
It's
best. Like
bonkers.
he said it the best, and that's one of my favorite lines in the movies. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah, it
It's
sums
just,
up everything.
it's just
It's insane though that people would
one
take
line.
shit this far.
Yeah, man. But oh my goodness. But speaking of, I mean, black culture. I guess we can touch on this emote thing. Uh, that that I posted.
Yeah.
Okay, so to provide context, there was a gentleman. I think it was, what was it, Cordell or something like that. I forgot his name. But he got approved for some Twitch emotes. And of course, there was a couple of emotes. One was a black child sitting in a toilet. Another one was a black child sitting in a bucket eating a watermelon. I don't know if he's a partner, but they were approved apparently automatically. And then he got permabanned, I think, a couple of days later from the platform because of his emotes. His tweet, when he tweeted it out, he was stating that they were approved and then he got banned. And then he also applied, well, I'm black and my community thinks this is okay. However, I still got permabanned. So I'll let you go. I'll let you go first on this, Sleep, before I provide my 2 cents on this whole situation.
All right. Usually I'm the one that's on the other side of these arguments when y'all have this thing that's trying to play somewhat like, well, maybe it's not, maybe this is okay for whatever reason, maybe they not intentionally trying to do racism shit and whatnot. And as a black dude, he probably didn't think he might not think that there's anything wrong with that since he's the one creating it. But this emote is gonna get out of fucking control and get to somebody else's chat and they're gonna abuse the fuck out of it. And as a black dude, why would you even contribute that to the fucking conversation? Like, what does a kid, like any baby in a toilet, like, why is that? Like, that could have been a white baby that would have been fucking offensive. You know?
Right.
That was just stupid. Eat watermelon and chicken in a bucket of, just, bro, you ignorant as hell. Just nothing about that was okay. There's no way Twitch can let that fly, even with you being black. They can't do that. Like, and they might have slipped through and they might have approved it because knowing Twitch, they probably just have an automated bot just saying, "Yeah, it's good. No, no,
Right.
no cuss words. All right, whatever, it's good." Just waving it through. But then somebody probably, was going through and reviewing the emotes later because
Right. That's
it was
exactly. I
like,
think that's
all right,
exactly what happened.
the bot lit it through, and then all right, now it's like a week or so later, a guy actually saw it and was like, "Who the hell lit this through?" Alerted, pulled the fucking fire alarm, alerted the authorities, and was like, "Yo, we gotta get this shit out of here." And now it's gone, and it should be like the fact that that made it through the bot. Like it has to be a bot. I'm hoping, I'm praying that it made it through. The first time it made it through, it was because of a bot. Because
Right.
like I don't want to think that a dude saw that and was like, "Oh, this is hilarious," wave it through. So I'm just gonna assume that a bot caught that the first time around, and then a human saw that later and was like, "Nah."
And from what I was seeing from the replies, I believe this gentleman was a partner. I didn't really look into his account that much. I was reading the whole thread from the tweets. So I believe he was a partner from how quickly his emotes got approved. From what people were saying, and there were some partner streamers that were in the replies saying that partner streamers get their emotes approved pretty much instantaneously when they're submitted. So that would lead me to believe he was a partner streamer. But just the fact that he made those emotes, and I'm like, yeah, he's doing it for the memes or whatever. I get it, but you got to understand from a platform perspective that would if somebody was to get that, and let's just say his community was gifted 100 subs or something like that. That's 100 people that have access to those emotes. Those 100 people go into some other channels, maybe like somebody who's from 4chan or something like that, a Twitch streamer from 4chan. They put that in there. Yeah, he's going to generate a lot of revenue for his emotes, but then those emotes spread like the plague to other minority streamers and they get spammed or something like that. Or even when, a black person's on Twitch streaming, they get spammed like the come on bros and stuff like that. So it's a, what's the word I'm trying to think of? The magnitude of that single emote is for you not to understand it is kind of worrisome. But I mean, I understand what you were trying to do from your end, and maybe that's okay in your community, but you got to look at the bigger picture. In that situation, you got to look at the bigger picture, and that would not have went well. Because you never know what could happen. Like I said, he could have been gifted a whole bunch of subs, and then that just spreads from there and just goes into other people's chats. Like yeah, like Sleep was saying, don't give the world the ammo. Exactly. That's why we try to limit a lot of stuff that's said and or done on this platform, so people can't really use it against you. Well, not really said, but things that are done, like more likely like emotes, things that last a long time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
all I was gonna say. It's like once it's out there,
Yeah.
and you can't put it back then. So like maybe that's what he was trying to do. Maybe he figured people would sub to him just to get these emails, so he would be a black dude getting subs from racists just so they could be racist to other black people. I
I
guess like
guess. I mean, business
maybe he figured it'd be fucking hilarious to charge them $5 to be racist. But I don't know.
from a business standpoint, I get it. I mean, that would be a smart idea, but it would just be too much of a problem for anybody else. Like maybe even those who don't have the mental fortitude to handle those kind of things, um, because it does wear on you after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just wild, like seeing, and I think that was 2 weeks ago. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago when that occurred, and a lot of people were saying, there was mixed emotions. Of course, people were saying that it's Twitch's fault, and some people were saying he should have known better. I mean, in my opinion, it's on both sides. Like, yes, Twitch probably has an automatic approval machine that just automatically puts stuff through. Um, when you're a certain status on the platform. However, as the person getting these emotes, and even the artist, I don't know if he had hired an artist to do this or whatever, but if he did, even the artist should have been like, "What? Wait." You know what I mean? Like there's multiple people that could have looked at this as some aspect and just be like, what are you needing these for? You know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is. He got banned, so But at the same time, Twitch does need to take some more responsibility for what they do. However, I don't know what the solution would be with how many people that do stream on a regular basis on this platform. You know what I mean? I think there's over like 3 million people or something like that, daily broadcasters. And
Yeah.
there's no way to really police all those people submitting emotes and things like that. So I mean, I get it, but there still should be some more accountability on Twitch's end as as far as emotes and approvals and things like that. And there's something else I got to get into about that in a minute. But was there anything else you wanted to say on this topic?
Nah, I mean it was dumb, and like I said, I, the fact that it got through the first time, I'm just like I said, I have to assume it was a bot because I don't think that any human working there would be like, this is going to get past multiple levels of checks, you know? Like, even if I was a racist dude and I saw that shit, I'd have to be like, this might be fucking funny to me, but there's no way the guy above me is going to let this through without me looking like an asshole. So, no, you
Right,
know?
right. And so speaking on Twitch, I forgot the name. I saw this in a YouTube video just a little while ago, but we can just speak on it from our perspective. There was a partnered streamer whose account executive dropped him from his clientele book, essentially. So basically, the guy didn't have a point of contact anymore for Twitch. He didn't do anything wrong. It was I'd have to look it up. Dang it, I don't have it with me. I literally saw this, and speaking on this just reminded me of the YouTube video. But he got dropped from his point of contact in Twitch, um, basically saying that and from my understanding, the executive said that he wasn't going to go anywhere or do anything on Twitch, and so he dropped him, a partner streamer, from his clientele book. So that that is just startling that something like that would actually happen. Um, because what this leads to, what if that person actually then blows up, and then what happens, you know what I mean? Like, what happens if that person blows up and brings in more money, and then you're the asshole that's like, well, you're not going to do anything, so let me drop you from my clientele book. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those, do you believe in this person kind of things.
I mean, I I honestly don't know what to say about that. Like, if this dude blows up, then this guy gets his just desserts, which is nothing, I guess. You know,
Probably gets fired.
but I really don't understand any of this shit at all. Like, what do people be thinking, man? Or do they just not think? You know,
Probably
I
don't
mean,
think.
I'm just gonna ask that question. You know, like,
They probably don't think. They're just like, oh, just look at the. They don't look at the end game. They look at the here and now. Essentially, it's just like, oh, this person, maybe small or whatever. He's not going to make it, and then later on, a year or two down the road, this person's the biggest person on the platform or whatever.
all right, you got me on that one, Red. You're right.
So
Sometimes people just don't think, I guess, man. Like, I'm like, yo, if you're in an agent type position where you have to have out as many feelers as possible, like, why drop anybody, honestly? Unless that person is doing something actively working against them, you know?
right.
So,
Let me see if I can bring it up for some more context. Give me 1 second.
go ahead, do you think?
Um, I guess that's the maybe no. What's it called? Manager. I guess call it manager. it was on a stream. Oh well, doesn't really matter. So I guess in another piece of news, I mean, I think we already pretty much kind of knew this, but going back to the whole Ninja leaving Twitch for Mixer, apparently it's been reported that he was paid somewhere between 20 to 30 million for a multi-year deal.
Yeah, I heard
What
about that leaking out, the specifics of the numbers.
Right. So, I mean, 3 year. If we just go for the minimum, I say what 3 year deal, 10 million a year, um, and then he'd probably leave and then come back to Twitch or something like that. Do you think he comes back after his time's up, or do you think he just calls it quits and stops
I
streaming?
mean, I feel like Ninja will keep streaming as long as he feels like it's viable because streaming opens up opportunities to do other things for him, which is the other reason why he left for Mixer, which we don't want to put out there because, like, Twitch had a deal probably with him already to keep him there for a while,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, well, we don't know the details of that, but Mixer had to outbid him. Now, that kind of money is a lot of money, but because they got Microsoft behind them, they can afford that. But Twitch has Amazon behind them, so they could afford that too. The other thing, his wife is his agent, and she said the reason why they left is because this allows them to do other shit. Twitch was like, no, Ninja can only do stuff with us. He can do books, but no other form of media. He does everything on Twitch. Mixer said, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't stream anywhere else. And here's your 30 million. So all of a sudden he starts showing up on all these other platforms as well. You seeing him doing more late night TV. He's been on podcasts. He had another fucking book come out. The dude was supposed to be in talks with trying to get into movies and shit. He gonna stay over there as long as Twitch doesn't do anything to incentivize him to give that up.
Mm.
So they're gonna have to either give him more money and say you can keep the freedom you now found, or give him enough money to make that freedom be like, you know what? I don't need to be in movies and shit.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is since he won't have any. Yeah, he was on the Masked Singer. I saw that. I guess it comes down to since he wouldn't have a contract at that point. What I'm saying is, do you think he'd come back? Because I mean, we all know
Oh
the.
no, this is Ninja. He gonna have when that contract expires, somebody's gonna
Do you
resign
think?
him.
Okay, I was about
Sorry
to
to
say,
interrupt.
no, 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 it's fine. I was about to say, do you think he just because we all know the majority of the money is on Twitch. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I was about to say, do you think he comes back and streams on Twitch without signing with anybody, and then still does his own thing? Is what I was gonna say, but yeah, I think he honestly re-ups with somebody. Somebody ends up paying him. It wouldn't even surprise me if Facebook Gaming came in and grabbed him after after his Mixer deal was done. If he signed with Facebook Gaming for a multi-year deal or something like that, it would not surprise me in the least. But I just thought it was we kind of all knew what the numbers were, but it's more so looking at the bigger picture after he's done doing his contractual obligations. What's the next move? You know what I mean? I understand he's building his brand on different things, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're at the top. But it's just, what are you gonna do? Do you think it's like, what do you do after the contract is up? Do you stop streaming because you have those other sources coming in? You have those other potential monetary incomes, or do you keep doing it and re up for another contract? I guess that's the question. I guess that he would have to answer at that point in time, because I think a lot of people would probably just be like, okay, I'm done streaming and just make YouTube content or something like that to keep a revenue source. I mean, because he already got his bag. You know what I mean?
I get you, but like I'm gonna hit you with some numbers real quick because I had Lord Google right here just to answer these questions.
Okay.
So these are old data right here, so it can go up or down, but we know it's gonna stay somewhere in the same area. When he first moved over to Mixer, he had 500,000 subs.
Okay.
If we keep that to Twitch's $5 a sub thing, that's 2.5 million they made off of that dude moving over there immediately. And if you I found another article that literally said that was on the 2nd of August.
Mm,
5 days later, he hit a mill.
mm. But wouldn't wasn't the but a lot of those subs were given away for free though. I don't think he made any money off of.
Oh,
I
I
don't.
doubt he got to keep any of that money.
Yeah, I was
I'm
about to
saying
say.
if he stayed at a million, if he stayed yeah, if he stayed at a million subs, then that's 5 mil a month they got back off of that guy. And yeah, they gave that first month away, but I'm just saying if it stayed in that general vicinity ever since he's been there, then that means every month this dude brings in that much money for them.
But I don't think it has though. I think his numbers dropped dramatically after that first month. Like he got all those free subs that I think Microsoft ended up keeping because they already gave him that that upfront money. It's like, here you go, thank you for signing with us. Um, unless that was part of their contract. I don't know what the contract states, but if from thinking in a business manner, that would make the most sense to do the free subs, give him his money for signing, do the free subs to recoup some of that money back, and then let him do his own thing from then on out. The money that he makes, I'm sure there's some kind of revenue split that Mixer does as well with their streamers. I doubt they give their streamers 100% of the sub money. Um, but with that number dropping off, I mean, I think he's down to like, I think the last number I saw, he's down to, and I mean, it's no small number. Don't get it wrong. I think he's down to like 9 or 10K, maybe even a little bit less than that. Every time he goes live now, compared to what he was doing, over here on this platform. But like I said, he got his bag. It's just more of a question: what is he going to do after his obligation is done? And Wolf was saying he's going to start his own streaming service. That would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. I mean, it's going to take a lot of money for him to do that, and he has the money to do it. But it would not surprise me if he did something like that and got all his boys to like go over to that streaming service or whatever.
Yeah, like right now he's at I'm looking at the Social Blade, looked him up right now, and he's at 2.7. Yeah, yeah. So he's basically sitting at 2.8 million followers right
Mm,
now. So like even if he was at like a third on the subs, he'd be still close to a mil. Like if and that's if one out of every three was subbing to him. And the Fortnite people are pretty big about subbing to the people they like. So
right.
I would assume maybe a little bit even higher than that. But even if he was still sitting at a cool meal, which is not too difficult, like I said, for him, that's still 60 million a fucking month they bring it in. I mean, 60 million a year they bring it in on this guy. So giving him that 30 mil up front wasn't shit
Right.
because they brought back double on him.
Right. Well, I guess it depends on the split. Like I said, I don't think they're not getting all that sub money. 100.
No,
There's
no,
some kind of revenue split, so
yeah,
they're getting probably half of that money. So they basically recouped their money, and he got 30 million additional on top of the 30 million that he signed for. So
yeah.
he doubled down essentially, and they
I
made their
mean,
money
that's
back.
fine because that's still 60 mil, and then he gets to do other projects.
Right.
Like we said, he got to be on Mass Singer, as your boy pointed out in chat. So, like, if he's on Mass Singer, he's getting money for that, and he's advertising himself to other groups of people as well, not just gamers right there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He got that book. Like I said, he put out a second book. He gets to do these kind of things now, and he couldn't do that before. And all these are going to create additional sources of revenue for him to get and open up more opportunities to become more mainstream in other ways, not just being the Fortnite guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I feel like there's no way for him to not re-sign with Mixer unless Mixer doesn't offer him something or
Mm-hmm.
Twitch offers better. Like, because if Mixer offers him nothing, then he can go back to Twitch, move all his people back over there. It's gonna be this big event because we're like, oh, he's coming back to Twitch. Let's watch, to see what happens and whatnot and
Right.
all this other stuff. And he goes back over there. He creates some hoopla around himself. He generates even more fucking hype around himself, and he just profits. Like he doesn't mix. He doesn't need Mixer or Twitch at this point. Wherever he goes is where people want to be at.
Mm-hmm.
So there's they have to offer him something. Like they have to. Like if I was in it, if I did business and I worked at one of these companies, I'm like, we have to get this guy. We have to try.
Right, that's what I was saying. It wouldn't surprise me if like Facebook Gaming threw him the biggest amount of money to go to the, like, it just seems like, I don't know, for some reason I get the feeling like he's just going to go to all three platforms. For some reason I just get the feeling he's going to be on all three platforms doing something.
I get you, but I feel like I feel like if I was his wife, I would be like no
Mm,
to Facebook because it's gonna your original and biggest group is still gamers, and you don't want to look like that guy who's going back and forth. Like because you could kind of bullshit explain your way back to Twitch, you know.
mm,
Be like, yeah, I went for the bag, I got my bag, but now I'm going back to my roots and I'm going back to just gaming. And so now we back on Twitch and whatever, you know.
right.
But you go to now we're on Facebook gaming. Like, nah, doesn't you know, you can't it doesn't fly. It's what to say. Gamers are gonna be like this motherfucker's all about the money, blah blah blah. He's sell out fucking shill and all this shit, you know, like
Hmm.
we're quick, like gamers are like fucking wrestling fans, man. We're quick to turn on motherfuckers for like the slightest fucking thing when it comes to the thing we care about, you know?
Right.
So like he doesn't want to do that shit because it takes a lot. It's there's a saying in the military, you know what I'm saying? It takes 1,000 attaboys to undo one fuck up.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, okay, so I mean, yeah, that all makes sense. I guess this would be. I know you don't stream as often, but you do. But you have streamed before, and do you think he is a pioneer for streamers?
no, I would not go that far as pioneering the streaming. Now, as far as crossover for streamers, I would give him that. Like
Mm,
he's one of the guys who has the biggest outside appeal, like you know, for streamers. Like if you're a guy and you don't do gaming or streaming, you don't watch it, you have no knowledge of that kind of stuff, you still could know who Ninja is, you know?
mm,
So he's got that crossover that most of the people wish that they could attain, you know? Like there's streamers I know that do other things, voice acting, actual acting, and whatnot, and people have no idea that they do those things, you know? Or and it's funny because like the people who know that they act don't know they play video games on Twitch and stuff. The people who know that they do things on Twitch have no idea that they've been in real life movies acting and doing things. Like, for example, do you know who Duck Sauce is?
I've heard of him. I haven't watched
Yeah.
any content or anything like that, but I've heard of him.
Yeah, but he was in the Avengers.
As who?
See?
It's like, which Avengers we talking about? Hold on, which Avengers we talking about?
He was a random Shield guy agent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people are gonna really know that and
I
let.
know that, but
Right.
like that's what I'm saying. Like they don't have the crossover value.
Mm,
If Ninja was there, he'd be an agent, a random agent, but he'd have a name. You know,
mm,
like he'd walk by and you'd see I don't know fucking Scott or Ramirez on his fucking Shield name tag or whatever the fuck. At least it
right.
wouldn't be random Shield agent number 3. Like
Like, you seen the
they
credits?
want to make sure you see Ninja.
Right.
And that's all I'm getting at with a lot of Twitch streamers, and you have no idea what they do outside of Twitch if you don't follow them specifically. But everybody in the fucking world, regardless of how they feel about video games, if as far as American society is concerned, knows who this ninja guy is.
Mm,
He's the Fortnite guy, like I said, but they know him. We can name off people from all kinds of other esports and video games, and you won't know who the hell they are if you don't play that game or at least something adjacent to it. If you go to a person that doesn't know shit about fucking MOBAs or shoot video games in general, like you say, yo, so I was watching Team Solo Mid to a non-gamer, they're like, what the fuck is that?
mm,
Ninja has been on multiple late night things. He's been on that Mass Singer show. He's got books out that you might see at the library or bookstore or whatever. Like that's what he did for us. He showed the world and that we can fucking cross over into being this thing that out transcends just one form of media. You know, we can make money in other areas,
Mm,
but I wouldn't say he's a pioneer for streaming itself. Like he didn't do anything in specific that was revolutionary for the actual streaming, genre, other than make money elsewhere.
right.
Like there are people who've done way more for streaming itself that are way less known outside of their niche circles. So
Mm. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I agree with you. I just thought, I mean, I just thought I would ask the question because I know a lot of people are looking at him as like the uh, pioneer for streamers and stuff like that. So figured I'd ask the question. You said Sam Witwer streams. Do you guys? He played Star Killer in The Force Unleashed, and
oh, that was dope.
oh, okay, Star Killer. I was like, wait, Force
Okay,
Unleashed.
yeah.
I had to think
I
of it.
didn't know that, but that's dope.
So he was the voice actor for Star Killer. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I enjoyed that game. That's one of the few Star Wars games that I have an experience with, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I force choked the crap out of a lot of people.
Well, of course you did. You look like somebody that'd be on the dark side, but I'm not going to fault you because I would do the same thing too.
I mean, you gotta choke a couple of them.
But I mean, yeah, and I guess we can just start talking about just some other things that we've seen. Have you seen? I don't know if you watched it. I'm a huge fan of this show, but have you seen The Boys second season 2 trailer? Have you seen The Boys? I guess would be the first
I've seen
question.
the trailer. No, I know I'm always late when it comes to
Oh,
TV.
well, okay, guys, this podcast's over. I'll see you later. See you next week.
Oh my god, this guy. Like no, like dude, me and the wife we just finished The Witcher, which is like the closest we've ever got to finishing something
Mhm.
within the same season, besides Castlevania. We tend to watch shows like that together and whatnot, and so we're probably gonna start The Boys up now that we finished The Witcher. So everybody's already done with season one. We're about to start up season one. So I will try to get back to you. Maybe next week I'll be able to have a
You
conversation
need
about
to
The Boys.
you need to watch that show. It is amazing, and I
I
think
know for a comic nerd, I'm way behind on that.
yeah, I'm actually surprised. I thought that would be like one of the first movies that you watched
I
when it was
was
or one of
super
the
ready
shows.
to watch that, but like I said, I typically end up watching shows like that with the wife, and we go like one or two episodes at a time so we can space them out. Because like outside, when we do agree on a show, we watch it together because we agree on so very little when it comes to TV.
Mm. But yeah, the Boys second trailer. I mean, this is the second trailer that came out. They already did the first one. I think it was a couple of months ago, 2 months ago. They just did a second trailer, which is pretty amazing. They got a huge budget increase, so there's going to be a lot more characters in the movie that are going to be from the comics, which is going to be really interesting. So I mean, I'm definitely excited, and apparently it's supposed to be out midsummer. So I'll probably binge watch that. And I don't know if they're gonna do like weekly. I hope they don't do weekly releases for that. I'd rather them just do. Here you go. Here's all your episodes. I'd rather watch it, digest it, and then keep it moving. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to treat it like some of the animes that I watch on a week to week basis. It gets kind of. It would get kind of annoying to wait for the next episode. But yeah, that's a good one that's coming out that I'm excited for. Did you see the people for Suicide Squad 2 or the Suicide Squad, excuse me, Suicide Squad 2 or the new name, the Suicide Squad?
Let me check that out now. Actually, I'm saying Suicide Squad 2 cast.
Like there's so apparently the second one is supposed to have a whole bunch of just random characters that they're going to kill off in order to get to their main cast for the second movie. So it's just interesting to see. Yeah, you see all the people. They got John Cena's going to be in it. I was just like, yo. That's the first thing I said when I saw John Cena. I was like, okay. All right.
Like, he's not even gonna have a superpower or a suit. He's just gonna be John Cena and fucking Oh man, God.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just gonna be John Cena doing WWE shit
basically.
in the DC universe.
Basically, that's. I was like, okay, John Cena is going to be. It's interesting because he's been on the come up with like a lot of his movies. Like some of his movies were kind of bad when they first started out, but he's starting to make some quality
I mean, that's
movies.
how it works typically, but he's
Yeah,
been grinding to get better and better with so in that way he reminds me similar to The Rock. Because
exactly.
the Scorpion King wasn't the best fucking movie,
Not at all.
you know.
Not at
So
all.
it's got and then he was what, the Tooth Fairy, don't
Yeah.
forget
And
that,
Oh my
So
goodness. Yeah, I forgot about that movie.
yeah, Steve. So I mean, it's a come up. You don't start off just being a WWE like you're in WWE because you're athletic, but you're a bad actor.
Right.
Like but it's a purposely bad actor. And The Rock was the best bad actor. That's why he got to transcend. But like this cast looks dope. I mean, Viola Davis, Taika Waititi, like Idris Elba, like yo, like we know Margot Robbie was coming back
Right.
because she's basically she is that fucking movie at this point.
I'm honestly glad they didn't recast Deadshot. I mean, it was Will Smith or nothing, basically, in my opinion,
Yeah.
for that coming back. Like if they would have recast it, I probably wouldn't have watched the movie. So I'm glad they at least were like, okay, well, we're not going to do you dirty like that.
Oh my God,
I
Pete Davidson's in this.
Yeah.
Tanaj, like why is she here? Like, what do you bring to this?
Oh man. Yeah, it's an extremely big cast, and like I said, I think a lot of them are gonna be killed off within the first like 30 minutes of the movie to get down to the core second Suicide Squad or whatever.
Oh shit, Nathan Fillion's in this.
Mm,
God damn, this all right.
And so
There's a lot of people. I see names that I'm just like cross them off, and then there's other names I'm like, please don't cross that
right,
off.
and so it's going to be interesting to see who they kill off in the second.
And who is who? Like that's the other thing. Like just these questions of who is who and who dies and who doesn't. Like
mm.
I'd watch it just to see.
I think Captain Boomerang is probably going to be one of the dudes that gets killed off, despite him being in the first one. I think he gets killed off and gets replaced by one of the newer actors.
Okay, so if you go off of popularity, yes, but like without going too deep into the comic book history, then I'm just gonna say like no.
Of course,
That dude
yeah,
survives a lot of shit somehow, and you're just like, how did Boomerang survive?
right.
Like it's kind of a running joke in the Suicide Squad that all these people with actual powers and abilities die, but somehow the guy who just throws fucking boomerangs is still around.
Hey, it be those ones. And then what else? There was something else in media that I saw that I wanted to bring up. So we got Suicide Squad 2, we had The Boys 2, and then there was the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker 2, that's in discussions right now. So
All right, so I got that one. Right now, Saturday Night Live did a skit recently where they were talking about the nominations for movies and whatnot.
mm,
And a movie by the name of Little Women did not get any nomination for its director. Like the movie got a bunch of nominations and it won a bunch of things and whatnot, but the director herself, she got none of that.
mm,
And they were like, the movie didn't direct itself, like what the fuck?
right.
How does she win all these different awards for all this other stuff, but she doesn't get an award herself? And then they look at the category, there's not a single female nominee in there whatsoever. And everybody's like, all right, this is a bullshit snub, essentially.
Mm,
So a lot of people got upset and started raging about that. And then Saturday Night Live's song that they did during their little skit basically points out that every movie that was nominated was a movie in some shape or form about white guys being pissed off. So it's called white male rage. And it's like, yeah. So basically white guys being pissed off wins awards for everything,
mm.
but you can't nominate anyone else. Like no people of color, no women, just white guys being mad. So that's what the outrage about this is that people believe that Greta Gerwig deserved the nomination, and then people saw that song and were like, "Well, Saturday Night Live is wrong. Joker's about this or that, and The Irishman is about anti-violence." And it's like, a lot of these movies are movies that you can project your own fucking beliefs onto. They're
Mm-hmm.
not about anything in specific. Like, you want to say the Joker is mentally ill, and it's about a mentally ill man who's pushed until he's in a corner and then he snaps. Like, you could say that. Or, like, comic book fans like me know the Joker was always going to snap no matter what. He's the fucking Joker.
Right.
But, like, does him being mentally ill or being fucking poor and downtrodden on excuse him snapping and doing all this murderous shit? To anybody but white guys, no. Like, black people get downtrodden on, immigrants get downtrodden on. Fucking all of us deal with shit when you're poor. Even white guys deal with shit when you're poor, but only white males seem to think it's okay. Oh, I'm poor and I'm being shit on. I should shoot up a place.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they're trying to point out. Like, you can't just say this, oh, his behavior's excused because he was poor and people kept fucking with him. Like, no, that doesn't excuse it. So what's this movie? Why is it okay for the Joker to do it? Because he's a white guy and he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
And you just really want to see another white guy rage out and do what you don't want to do because you understand that society has rules. And I'm glad you do understand that because I don't need you shooting up my barbershop.
Right.
But like, let's not say it was some groundbreaking shit. A white guy, getting pissed off and snapping on society is not brand new.
Mm.
It not in movie or real life form.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen this in any version of any of this. The Irishman movie about gangsters and being super violent and all that, and them saying you can't say a movie about angry gangsters and shit like that is preaching anti-violence.
Right.
So come on, like, let's just be real. Let's just say what it is. You nominated a bunch of action films with some actual subplots to them here and there about people being fucked with and then snapping. But you didn't. It's like if Taken had better writing and you nominated it 5 times. In my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, like, it's just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. I get it. I mean, and I would totally understand why people would be upset about that because I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard nothing but glowing reviews about it. And so, of course, if you don't get those at least acknowledgments, I can understand why people would be upset about it. I mean, I have no say in that fight because I mean, like I said, I haven't watched the movie. That was news to me as far as what you were talking about. So I didn't even know that. Um, but I guess since we're on the topic of this comic book movie and Joker and things like that, who would be someone you would want to see a standalone like villain? Let's just say villain, no superheroes, just villains, DC villains. Who would be your standalone person that you would want to see in a big budget movie?
Okay, so we getting one on Black Adam, and that's gonna be dope. Like, because that dude has a lot of story to it. But one that I think could be equally as dope and set up some stuff for the future that would be just amazing would be if they did Sinestro, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, like, for those of y'all uninitiated on the Green Lantern Corps and whatnot, before that shitty movie that Ryan Reynolds is still apologizing for.
He retconned it. He killed himself before he took the job. He retconned it. We saw it.
Right.
We saw it. It's been retconned.
I'm just saying, before all that, like, he likes the fucking comics. He agrees Green Lantern is dope. Like, but if you fucking take Sinestro and make a movie about him, it's already written. And the best part is it can set up future Green Lantern movies without you having a problem of who's the bad guy and all this. Like, Sinestro was a Green Lantern. He was set to police his own sector and whatnot. The sector had his home planet in. He was trying to stop the people on his planet who were corrupt. So you had a bunch of corrupt leaders doing shit, whatever they wanted, and abusing his people. And this dude gets a fucking Green Lantern ring. So he says, I'm going to fix this shit. And then he tears down the corrupt leaders of his fucking people with this Green Lantern ring. And then they try to set up a new government. And it's just as corrupt as the one he just tore down. So he says, fuck it, and tears down the new one and says, I'm running this shit now. And the only real rules he puts into place is don't fucking do illegal shit. Like, imagine if the Punisher had a Green Lantern ring.
Everybody be dead. What do you mean?
Like, now give him compassion because Sinestro actually has compassion. And that's what this is would turn into. It would just be like people doing corrupt shit, and he tears down the corrupt people with this fucking Green Lantern ring. And once he tears down these corrupt people with this Green Lantern ring and sets it up and sees the cycle repeat itself, he says, to break the cycle, I have to create a new one. And then he becomes the guy that runs everything and keeps people from doing shit. And then as he gets colder, fucking to all the cruelty of his own people around him and whatnot, he just starts getting more and more authoritarian. So if you murder somebody, well, now I have to murder you. That's the rules. If you don't want to be murdered, don't murder somebody. You know, and like he doesn't even care about little stuff like that. He leaves that to the regular police. You know, you steal some shit, the regular police on his planet can get you. But you do something serious like bomb a place, now I have to blow you up. Sorry, them the rules. And that shit would be sick. It'd probably be better off as a TV show now that I think about it, because you can watch the gradual build up to him
Mm.
becoming this darker and darker person.
Instead of it just being 3 hours, like we're gonna speed through this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that would probably be better off as that. So then I talk about it. So I guess like for a movie, I don't know. That'd be rough, man, for a movie. Um,
I mean,
I guess
I have two that I would
I
like to
guess if we
see.
did a movie, Black Manta. I don't know if he was in the Aquaman movie, but like that would be the badass setup because you get to see this black guy get fucked over by Aquaman and then say, I'm gonna show him what it feels like to lose, and then fucking become this like damn near underwater evil Iron Man to fuck with fucking Aquaman.
True.
That would be dope. And then you still get to throw Aquaman in the movie, just not as the guy we following. So you would get all the draw that people who like Aquaman, and saw that movie, they would come back and watch this. And it sets up a lot of other stuff because if you're doing a villain movie with him, let's say at the end, the good guy wins, obviously, right? Because you
Mm.
can't kill off Aquaman. So Jason Momoa suplexes the guy with his super swole Khal Drago body and then fucking walks off with his trident. And like as the dude is laying there on the fucking ground and whatnot, and he thinks he killed him and whatnot, Lex Luthor scoops the guy up and then fucking heals him.
Mm.
Or he wakes up and he's in a LexCorp lab and shit like that, and he's like, I have a job for you. And then fucking you just fade out there. Bam, Legion of Doom movie set up.
Well,
And then you get to do a big ass fucking Legion of Doom movie later on where they're fucking over the heroes. You have bad guys preset now for any future superhero movies you do because you already showed that the Legion of Doom is forming, which gives you guaranteed Justice League movies down the line, and you don't have to keep fucking up with these extremely big bads like they tried to do Dark Side and they had Steppenwolf is what I heard from the previous one
mm-hmm.
and whatnot.
Yep.
And like the moment I heard that, I was like, that's not gonna work. That's like starting off. That's like if Marvel would have started off and not did each individual person and then added up to Thanos, but said let's skip Thanos and go straight to Galactus.
Granted, I
Like,
would have been hyped, but it still would have been it would have been a major leap.
yeah, like how did wait? They half these motherfuckers just found out there was something in space, and now they got to deal with Galactus. So it's why all the Fantastic Four movies that they done with Galactus sucked.
Right.
It's like you can't skip past all these other bad guys and jump straight to Galactus. Like that's just no, it's insane. Like now that Marvel has like a decade of established superhero shit going on, they have allies in space and all that kind of stuff. I'm totally expecting now that they set it up. The Galactus is gonna be there. The Fantastic Four movies got to happen first, though.
It'll probably be in the
And
next Avengers movie. They'll probably have some kind of
yeah, like we need shout out. They have to have shout outs to the fucking Fantastic Four because they have to establish that Reed Richards is the guy. Because if you don't have Reed Richards, you don't have a way to stop Galactus.
true.
So,
And I guess for me, there's two characters. One would be the Riddler. I would love to see a just an origin or a dark Riddler movie. Like not
so a
even
Joker style
yeah, a
version of
Joker style version of Riddler. I think that would be amazing, personally.
okay.
Um I don't know how they would incorporate it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jim Carrey did an okay job in his Riddler adaptation, but the movie overall was not the best. Um and then I want to see the President Lex arc
Mm.
is shown in the big screen where Superman is the villain. I think that would be amazing, and that could tie into your what you were saying about the mantle. Manta, is it Manta? Manta. I don't know the DC
Manta,
character.
yeah, Black
Yeah,
Manta.
Black
Yeah,
Manta.
dude is dope as fuck, man. He honestly is.
I think that would be a good tie-in to your character. And that would help set that up because I would like to see how they would portray that where Superman's the bad guy, or the Justice League are the bad people, where Lex Luthor's the president of the United States.
All right, so Manta's origin typically ends up being something like when he was a kid, Aquaman accidentally killed his dad, and so he's just like,
I thought
I'm gonna fuck up Aquaman.
okay, so it's not Aqua. I thought wait. Okay, well we'll rewind in a second. You said hang on, let me answer this real quick. Got a good one. Lobo would be another good one too. Yeah, I think they were already talking about doing that though. A Lobo movie, but I thought is Aqua Lad okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, from the Young Justice
Okay, that's
show.
what I was gonna ask you. What are you talking about? So
The
the
Young Just
black Aqua lad with the blonde hair,
Yeah.
that's
What
Black Manta's son.
that's Black Manta's son. Okay. All right. I just
Yeah.
wanted to piece it all together. I was like,
So
I
yeah,
thought that
that's
was
Black
the
Manta's son. Black Manta's dad. So Aqualad's
grandfather.
grandfather
Gotcha.
was killed by Aquaman on accident.
Okay. Okay.
Is
Now
how he sees it. Aquaman just didn't is like, no, I just wasn't able to save him in time, you know?
mhm.
But he's like, no, you triggered this shit. And it might not have been what you were setting out to do, but that's how I lost my fucking father. So yeah, like like yeah, like it sets him up to have an antagonist who has an actual reason for coming at him, not just some random guy from space who's like, I'm gonna take over the world because I want to rule the world. So you can find it relatable, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah, he killed the dude's dad. He want revenge. Like, you can understand it. It's a simple motivation, but it's a logical one that people can understand and relate to. And those are what makes the best bad guys. Is the bad guys you can relate to. Like when you see fucking Iron Man movies and whatnot, and you see like the bad guy problems in the other movies and stuff like that. Like, which bad guys are your favorite ones in Marvel? The ones that you actually understand somewhat how they work. Like everybody's favorite one damn near was Killmonger because they understood it.
Right.
It made sense. Like the Red Skull is like you don't really understand it, but you know you got to punch him because he's a Nazi. So it's just like, all right, well, yeah, punching Nazis makes sense. Punch them, Cap. Like you just got to do it.
Right.
But yeah, exactly. Have the villain be the hero of their own
That's what I'm
story.
saying. President Lex, man.
So with when you watched,
President Lex.
Black Panther and you see Killmonger and you're like, in his eyes, he's the hero, When you like I said with Black Manta, like in his eyes, he's saving the world from fucking a careless superhero. You know? Like in his eyes, it's kind of like classic Lex Luthor.
Right.
Classic Lex Luthor is a badass bad guy because he thinks Superman is a problem.
Right.
Because Superman can just solve all their problems, people get lazy and complacent. And then that's how people die. That's why Lex Luthor hates fucking Superman, is what In the back in the day, that was the logic behind it. He was like, humans don't need a shiny alien god to save them. We should save ourselves. And that made him super fucking relatable. The best villains are the ones that, yeah, the ones that think they're doing the right thing, the ones that are the hero of their own story, as y'all just said, like those are the best ones, the ones that you can understand and relate to.
So since we're on the topic of DC, and I know we're having a new Batman movie come out next year, is there a character that you want to see outside of the Riddler and the Joker that you want to see have a solo movie in the Batman universe?
I think that since DC's doing Birds of Prey right now, the smart move would to be a not Batwoman but Batgirl because they have a Batwoman TV show.
Okay, which are you talking about? Oracle Batgirl, or are you talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
because you can, if you get her in there early, you can go through the many different phases that she had and experience and you experiment with which ones you want in script form before you actually put them down. So, like, if you have Batgirl in there
Mm,
and she's doing her own thing, it's Barbara Gordon. Yes, like you get an independent female character who can team up with the other Birds of Prey later on, and set up a different set of movies if you want, independent from the Justice League movies. You could have, and all this is in the same shared universe, so you can borrow and move characters around based off of how successful you are with each individual one. So it gives them a lot of flexibility on that part. She was, if you like Barbara Gordon and you want to keep her there, but you don't want her in the action, then you can fucking set her up to become Oracle. And now she sits in the Watchtower and she does that. And Harley Quinn and the rest of the Birds of Prey are still out there doing their damn thing. She can still be there to help out Batman and all the rest of these people with different parts. So if the people love the actress, they're just not responding quite, as good well as you would hope
mm.
to Batgirl, then you can be like, okay, well, we still have Barbara, we still have Oracle we can work with. We just don't need Batgirl. And then you can recast Batgirl as Cassandra Cain Batgirl, or spoiler, Stephanie Brown Batgirl, even, or whatever. But there's different ways you can go about this. Like, I think Barbara Gordon Batgirl gives them the most flexibility, and it's a character that a lot of people like already. I think if you go straight to Robin with Dick Grayson,
Mm. I was getting ready to say Nightwing, the
yeah,
whole that whole
it's like,
Nightwing
but see,
arc.
that's the thing. Like, all right, so this movie, the Matt Reeves version, is supposed to be younger Batman, obviously,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
So younger Batman, we got it. At this point,
he's probably not gonna have a
no Robin,
sidekick. Yeah, I was about to say.
you know, and then the Justice League and all that already showed us old Batman fighting Superman. So basically, the fucking future old man Bruce, damn near not quite Terry McGinnis, old man Bruce, but still. But the Frank Miller Batman who just wants to fight his best friend Soups all the damn time. If people like this and you go back and you to the present day Justice League, you can't really bring back Nightwing. I mean, Robin. You kind of skip to Nightwing automatically
Right.
if you go back to the future or present of their fucking thing, however you want to look at it. But if the moment you go back there, it's too late to have a Robin. You're automatically jumping right back into Nightwing territory.
Do you
So
do you think they would do a what was the latest one? Was it Killing Joke? No, there was another one after that. Killing something. Do you think they would do a Killing Joke? They might have already done it. Hey, what is the? I'm
they
trying
did a
to.
Killing Joke animated movie, so I
Right.
hope they do not do it in
No,
live
there
action.
there
I
was
don't think they need
another.
to. Now
The
they
Batman that
could do it.
laughs. The Batman, was it the Batman that laughs, or the
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about? The Batman, is it, that's what it's called? The
Yeah.
Batman that, yeah. Did you think they should do that as a movie? I think that'd be pretty interesting.
I I don't think it'll fit their live action thing because like right now DC's live action thing is fucking all over the place.
Right.
Um they just did something in the fucking TV show. so they could help them fix that shit. Now, Wonder Woman would be unaffected because Wonder Woman is taking place in 1984 in this one, right?
Right.
So this Wonder Woman is movie would be completely unaffected by what I'm about to say, which means that they could literally just keep writing and be okay. Um, they did a crossover with the DC, yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earths. They did a crossover in DC in the TV show where they had the Flash from the TV show meet the Flash from the movies,
Hmm.
which establishes that these universes are both part of the exact same multiverse in DC, which was smart. I've been waiting for years to see them do something of this nature.
Right.
And um Daryl will tell you, like, I actually suggested they do this from before so that they, because after the Justice League movie did bad, not that I got anything against Ezra Miller, but I was like, if you bring Grant Gustin to the screen,
Right.
that dude was made to play fucking Barry Allen. He's got Barry Allen's natural charm. Fucking, he just, you like the guy. You can't help but liking Barry Allen, and you can't help but liking fucking Grant Gustin. So it just works. He was made to play that character. And if you do that, since they showed that crossover where we know both of them exist in the same one, all they would have to do is another multiversal type shakeup, which since they've already put Doomsday in the picture, wouldn't be very hard. I mean, not Doomsday, but Darkseid in the picture wouldn't be very hard. And they could shake things back up. And you could even move people from the TV shows to the movies and vice versa, or if they were willing to do it or whatever, you know?
Kind of like the whole Marvel thing. What they're doing with their stuff.
Yeah. So you could do that and it wouldn't be an issue. They don't even have to do a new one because they've already shown the Flash in that one. If they do the Flash movie, they can just mention this happened or have Grant Gustin and him show up at some point where they interact with each other in it, like anything at all to mention or allow for that dot of Urza Miller and Grant Gustin's characters to have already met prior to the movie. It can be in between the Justice League and the Flash movie. It just needs to be established that the two of them meeting happened and that the multiverse is connected on their side. And then you can continue on from there and be like, all right, now we have carte blanche to shake up things how we want. Because we've already established that with the new 52 of DC's Rebirth for Crisis on Infinite Earths TV version, that we've shook up the entire multiverse. So everything from this point forward is the new DC cinematic universe.
Right.
And then you bring back the movies that were successful. So you bring back Gal Gadot as your Wonder Woman because people love that. You bring back Jason Momoa as Aquaman. If Ursula Miller's movie does great, you bring him back. If not, then you fucking bring Grant Gustin into it and just say he's playing an alternate version of Barry Allen. It wouldn't be the first time he's done it.
Right.
Like, there's so many ways for DC to do that. DC's the king of rebirths.
Of course.
And
Yeah, I think we all know that. They went through so many.
exactly. So they know, but at this point, you should know what works and what doesn't work. And I'm not one of those people who's screaming, release the Snyder cut, but you have enough people there who have worked in TV for a long enough time that y'all should be able to write at least 2 or 3 versions of a script, test them, and then fucking see how they review before you go out there. It shouldn't be that big a deal for them. If the guys on the TV show can do it with a way smaller budget, like if you look at the Flash season 1 or 2, some of their CGI is just like, damn, that's bad.
Right.
And people were eating that shit up and watching it and loving it anyway because the storytelling was that great. That's what DC needs to realize. Like, it ain't gotta be Superman eye lasering and blowing up buildings and throwing them into space. It just has to fucking be great storytelling. Red Wolf says Shazam. We might get that. They're doing a Black Adam movie, like I said earlier. So if you got Black Adam, you're gonna get Shazam. So
Hopefully. We hope.
we already had Shazam one, so and Billy Batson did. You know, the kid who played him did good. You know, Chuck was Shazam, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we get a part two of that. That'd be dope.
You know how they are.
Hell, they lost Superman. They could just throw Shazam in that spot. You know,
You're not wrong.
it'd be you still have a heavy hitter.
But I guess for this last 20 minutes or so we can shift it to the other side, my side, Marvel. So I guess the first question is what are you looking forward to, or what do you want to see Marvel do? Because I mean they've already announced so many different things as far as their timeline and what they're trying to work on or come out with. I mean, I'm excited that they finally got the X-Men under their belt so they can actually make some decent movies. Don't get me wrong, X-Men, what was it? Not First Class. I think First Class. I thought that movie was pretty good. Um all the other ones were kind of like meh, but I
So,
thought that one stood out.
so I have to say this already
Mm.
because they're supposed to be doing a Blade reboot, and I just want to say Blade was the start of the Marvel Cinematic
You're not
Universe,
wrong. You're not wrong. You are not
and
wrong.
Wesley Snipes was that motherfucker. So
So you think they should bring
that
him back?
no, no,
Okay.
they already recast it, and it's Mahershala
Yeah.
Ali. I probably butchered his first name, but if you see Luke Cage, he was Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
That dude, that could be my Blade. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that casting. That dude is fucking yeah. I'm fine with that. That dude's a
He
phenomenal
was
actor.
also in House of Cards.
Yup, he was in that, and he was fucking phenomenal in that as well. The dude is a fucking great actor, like I said. So I'm fine with that dude being there. So I'm looking forward to that. We have a Shang-Chi movie of all things, and I'm like, I have no idea how to feel about that because that is the most esoteric Marvel character
Mm-hmm.
that most people probably have no idea who the hell that is. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I wonder if they're gonna pull the guys from the Marvel Netflix verse
Mm-hmm.
into this at all. Because if they do, then that means we still got the guy from Iron Fist, and I don't know how I feel about that. He wasn't great. He wasn't, but he wasn't like terrible
Just
either.
meh.
Yeah,
Indifferent. Yeah.
yeah. And like I feel like he got the short end of the stick though, because like people were just like, "Oh, of course they cast a white guy to play fucking Iron Fist, and it's clearly white savior from." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. It is white savior thing, but that's why it has to be a white guy. Like the character's been a white savior forever. That's how
Right.
his story works.
Right.
And but it's like it's what makes the character go up from there is the fact that he learns that just because he has the Iron Fist power that doesn't make him the white savior. He's just another guy. Like he learns that from Luke Cage as he keeps going. Now, they end up teaming up and becoming best friends. And then
Right.
even though he's got all this money and he's super rich, he spends most of his time down in Harlem chilling with a black dude. Like that, he ends up becoming godfather to that dude's kid and stuff. Like and just spending all this time. Like that's the character growth. You wouldn't have the same kind of stories and growth from a non-white Iron Fist. It would just be Asian dude and black guy hanging out in Harlem. That's a normal day. Like you can go to Harlem right now and find an Asian dude hanging out with a black guy. That's not
Right.
nothing new.
Right.
So, but the New Mutants movie, I wonder how like it looks like some sort of horror movie so far. Have you seen the trailer for
I
that?
haven't yet. I have not yet.
All right, watch that and then get back to me on that one.
Yeah.
It looks like some sort of a horror movie. It's got the one of the females from Game of Thrones on it. Like they're
Hmm.
everywhere now. You can't escape Game
Yeah.
of Thrones people
You
now.
can't. No, not at all.
And then we got the standalone Black Widow movie, which has been shooting over in Georgia for a while.
Hmm.
So then Angelina Jolie's finally coming back to the
The
screen. She's gonna be in
Eternals.
it. Yep.
Yep. That's gonna
So
be a
we're
good
gonna get
one.
more of our space opera with her. So that's gonna be interesting because more space opera means more Guardians, and I'm okay with that. Like, give me more Groot. Give me more baby Groot. I'll take all the Groot I can get.
With these three words. Oh my goodness.
Yo, man, we are
So
Groot, baby.
so I guess okay. So we'll go back to the same question that I asked you about DC. Who is one character? We'll start with villain. Who is one villain that you think Marvel could do a solo? Because they really haven't done a whole lot of like villain solo movies that I can recall. Uh,
My favorite idea, and I know it's not gonna happen, but my favorite idea is a dude named the Prowler.
the
Like, I think
Prowler.
that would
Okay.
be the dopest. Um, yeah, the Prowler, Marvel, yeah, that would be the best.
Hmm.
All right, so his name is Hobie Brown,
Okay.
and it's you've seen Spider Verse.
Yes.
All right, so it would be Miles's uncle essentially.
Oh, okay. The one. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to say anything, but I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so that I think
I'm.
would be dope because see, in the main universe, him and he ends up starting off as a bad guy, then he reforms and becomes a good guy, and he even fills in for Spider Man. You know how like sometimes people are like, "Oh, so and so is Spider Man," or you know whatever.
Mm,
All heroes go through that moment where people are like, "We figured out who it is. It's this guy," and they gotta have a friend dress up as them and pretend to be them.
right.
That's what Hobie ends up doing for him a couple times, like after he finds out whatnot, because he's a good guy now. He's not a bad guy. But that would be a way for them to segue Miles into the real universe, you
Mm,
know?
okay.
Like, and I think that would be dope. I would think that what Marvel and Disney could consider doing, but Sony's probably gonna be like, no, because if we do it, we want to keep it in our back pocket in case y'all fuck up,
Mm,
you know, is doing a live action version of Spider-Man with Peter.
okay.
And you don't do it now because the dude is young. He can play Spider-Man for years, you know?
Right.
And people love him. But like, let's say 10 years from now, he's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. I'm too old for it, you know. Like I'll still be around to play the role, but I don't have time to shoot these movies, you know. I
Mm,
got wife, got kids, I got 5 other projects I'm working on.
right.
I don't have time to do Spider-Man movies anymore. And then they're like, all right, cool, we'll shoot one more. You get your big ass bag, and at the end of it, we come out and Miles Morales is now the main character. And you just keep that in your pocket, you know, that you've introduced these characters that you can use to set up Spider-Verse and fucking Miles Morales taking over the role. And 10 years from now, they can just pick like this black guy, this Hispanic guy, whatever, because you can pick either because it's Miles.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And then like that's my Miles Morales right there. And now some Cuban or Puerto Rican kid from New York or black kid from New York gets to be Miles Morales. You know?
yeah.
And then obviously don't have to be from there. I'm just saying, you know, that's where they're gonna pretend to be from for the movie, but it'd be dope as shit because you set up an entire cinematic universe of around Spider-Man. You could pull Tom Hardy Venom into it if you want, if you do it now, you know,
Mm,
and then you could set up for a Carnage movie, and you can set up for because Spider-Man has so many fucking villains and so many friends. You can set up so many different things with Spider-Man.
yeah.
Like the dude's best friend is fucking the Human Torch in the comics. So you can set up a crossover with the Fantastic Four if you want.
I mean, they're bound to do a crossover with Blade because they're already doing that one. Oh, I forgot his name. Is it Morbius, the vampire?
Morbius, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
they're already going to do a crossover with Blade. That's going to happen.
yeah.
That's going to happen.
Marvel Knights, and then Morbius and him know each other and whatnot. So you got Morbius, Spider Man, fucking Blade, Venom. Like you can literally set up a Spider Verse completely separate from Marvel and be fine,
Mm,
and people would flock to it because Spider Man is that dude. Like I'm pretty sure the list of comics like all time highest favorites around the world, not just America, goes like Superman, Batman, Spider Man.
mm.
Like I'm pretty sure that's like the top three on the superhero radar
Well,
for the whole
it's
world.
probably changed now with the movies and things like that, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's,
I would imagine if you had a top five, it would shuffle around like those three with Iron Man and
yeah,
maybe Wolverine, you know,
yeah,
as your top five. But still, like I don't see Spider Man ever dropping out of your top five, you know.
yeah.
So
Not anytime soon, unless they just like blow it out the water or just do terribly
yeah,
bad.
like he would have to get on the screen and just be like niggas, and then it'd be like, whoa, Spider, you can't do that, like you know.
Right. So yeah, it would have to be something outrageous for him to fall out of that fandom for that long. But I mean, they've already like my favorite villain is Venom. Like Venom when I first saw him like in the old Spider-Man cartoons, not the old ones, but like the original ones in the 1990s.
Yeah,
That was just like, yo, this character is amazing, and he in just the fact that he was following Brock, who he attached himself to Brock, who resented Spider Man because he felt like Spider, the guy you can relate to kind of thing. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
And so I was just like, yo, I like this guy as a villain, and then they started introducing all the other like Carnage and stuff like that. And I played all those games. I played like,
Dude, like Carnage would be so dope if they did like a fucking movie where you already did Venom, and they set up Carnage in that one I heard,
mhm,
and then Venom 2, Venom and Carnage going at it, and then fucking like crossover between the two of Spider-Man and that, Maximum Carnage. It's just Carnage and fucking Spider-Man. I mean, Venom and Spider-Man, going on the hunt around New York trying to fucking find
Carnage.
Carnage, and
Yeah,
then like running into all these like C and B tier villains that are on his fucking team, but having to fucking fight them, and
right.
it would be dope as hell.
That would be a long movie, but it would be amazing. It would be a
That would be a
long,
3 hour movie, but that would be a 3 hour movie I could sit the fuck through because there'd be action scenes out the ass.
right.
Because Carnage is not exactly subtle, so there's gonna be shit
Mm,
blowing up all over New York.
right. Do you think they should do a the secret, what was it, the secret agent, you know which one I'm talking about, the Carnage, that not Carnage, the Venom that ended up working for
Oh,
Shield.
yeah,
I for
Agent Venom.
Age of Venom, there you go.
Agent Venom. No, I think they should step away from Shield being so prominent in everything,
Mm,
and like especially in Spider-Man. Like I know in the new Disney cartoon that they have Spider-Man working for uh Shield and all that stuff, but like I think honestly, yeah, they should just step away from using Shield as a crutch to explain or team pair up everybody with everything and all that,
mhm,
and like Eddie Brock doesn't need to be with Shield. You know,
mhm,
they don't need it. Like Eddie Brock going after Carnage, that just makes sense because fuck Carnage.
right,
So Eddie Brock would be like, fuck Carnage, yeah, and go after him.
right.
And Spidey being like, oh shit, Carnage and Venom, yeah, I gotta stop this symbiote madness. Like you don't even need Shield to explain that how that happened. It would just happen,
Well, I was just saying more so like introducing him into the main Marvel universe with everybody else. Um, yeah,
Besides, if you do Agent Venom, you have to move the symbiote. I don't think we want that because that's Flash Thompson.
right.
So, like, if Flash Thompson has the symbiote, then the Venom symbiote, then it's not on Tom Hardy, and we want it on Tom Hardy. So,
Right, right. Well, I mean, yeah, I was just, because there's so many different things that have happened in Marvel that haven't been done in the movies yet. And one thing I think would have been nice, and I think they gave a nod to it, was I want to say it was Secret Invasion, where this, you know what I'm talking about, where the scrolls come in and they copy,
yeah,
they made a nod to it, but I would have liked to have seen a full blown like that whole story arc in a series of movies or even a TV show or something like that. That would have been pretty.
Well, yeah, that could be that could have been something they could have set up for, and that would have been dope. Because I mean, that's a worldwide event that would have required superheroes to gather up. But like, I think explaining how the fuck they figured out how to detect aliens that they didn't know existed
Right.
would be difficult. But then again, with Shield around, you could just be like, "Oh yeah, Shield knew about these aliens forever ago." Like,
Or the Guardians, relayed a message or something. You can tie it in any
yeah.
kind of way, but I think
So
it would have
yeah,
been
I mean, you
interesting.
could drop hints in the Guardians. You could be like, the Guardians see a fleet of fucking scroll ships heading to Earth or whatever,
Mm,
and then like they call back a heads up and whatnot, and then like that's the end of that. That was at the end of the Guardians movie or whatever, and then you move on,
right.
and then Captain Marvel movie, and then the Kree are involved in her story, right? So the Kree call it and get her a heads up, hey, the squirrels are acting funny, they're our enemies. So yeah, be on the lookout for fucking weird squirrel shit and whatnot. And they just keep dropping these breadcrumbs that the squirrels are finna pull some shit.
Right.
And then bam, full on squirrel war, and you need the Avengers to help out. And even street level guys would have to get involved in that because squirrels are every fucking where. And yeah, that'd be dope because you could even if you didn't have people have speaking lines, you could just do a bunch of cameos
Mm,
to have people get hyped. Like you have Luke Cage out there punching a scroll, and then
right.
just zoom past it. He doesn't even have to speak. Just have him being Luke Cage punching somebody.
Right. Do you, do you? Because I think with the way Marvel's heading with the new galactic threat with the Galactus, because it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming with
And
Galactus.
yeah, do you think there's going to be a point where it's too many heroes in the big screen? Because you're gonna have what, the Guardians, you're gonna have Fantastic Four, we'll probably have some X-Men by that time. Then you have the Avengers, probably the new Avengers. Do you think it's gonna be too many heroes at that point in the big screen?
I mean,
Or
I think it's too many heroes now for some of these fucking movies, man.
mm-hmm.
Like, it's a lot of fucking people. Like, think about it. When they did the Avengers, they had to snap some of them out of existence just so they could fit the rest of them on the screen. Like it was just too many, man. Like it's a reason why comic books is a long form storytelling thing that keeps going for that long and whatnot. Because like if you try to put all of that in one book and just like keep it there, it'd just be too many fucking people to keep track of, man.
Right.
So you
So
tell their story in their book, and then maybe some of the story is told in a team book, and they spread it out as much as possible.
so then theory craft for me real quick. What do you think is going to happen for the Galactus Avengers movie that is going to happen that we all know? Do you think it's going to be? Well, let me ask you this: do you think it's going to be a standalone movie, or do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be like a series of movies like they did for Thanos? Do you think it's going to be a series of movies that ends up being one big movie with Galactus, or do you think it's just going to be like here's Galactus and that's it?
No, it's not good. They can't do Here's Galactus, that's it, because they tried that and it failed over at Fox already with the Fantastic Four.
Right.
They said, Fantastic Four, by the way, here's the Silver Surfer. Why is he here? Because of that guy. And then it just showed you Galactus and was like, all right, now what? And then like there was no way they were gonna be ready for that.
Right.
So if it wasn't for fucking just, plot devices, just changing things all of a sudden, like they had no way to do it. Like if they're gonna do it, they gotta do it right. They have to create a problem, make the problem seem like something that the heroes can't overcome, but then they find a ray of hope, and then they overcome it through putting together meticulous efforts of a lot of people and some hard work and sacrifice. Like you can't just be like Galactus is here and then the Avengers beat him. Like no, you can't even hurt Galactus. Like Captain Marvel's the most powerful person they have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, and she shouldn't be able to put a dent in Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they beat Galactus, they need to beat him with like the Science Bros. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and you have two Science Bros. Well, one now, but
I mean, they'll probably
uh,
bring him back in some shape or form.
yeah, but like yeah, you need to unite those the two Science Bros. You need to unite them with another Science Bro to get even more science power.
So I
I'm
mean,
trying to say it like that so I don't spoil anybody in case they haven't read the comics and they want to start checking that kind of stuff out. Is But like,
So I mean, if you're gonna go the Science Bros, that's what Reed Richards, Banner,
yeah,
Iron Man.
yeah, start.
Who else?
They got the see this is the thing with those guys that would be enough. But you just brought the X-Men in the foe. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but if Beast is available, then Hank McCoy should be involved in this conversation because
Right,
that dude is fucking smart as shit, and not just on the genetic side. It's just in general, Beast is fucking highly intelligent.
right.
So Hank Pym is still there,
True.
true.
Yeah.
So you could bring him into this conversation. Um, let's see. I don't like I said, I don't know what they're gonna do. With the X-Men, there's so many people you can bring in there because they could bring Forge in. And Forge is a one-man science fucking bro squad because he can literally just invent shit because he feels like it.
If they introduce him,
Yeah, so that's what I said. I don't know what they're gonna do with the X-Men, how many of them how many mutants there are, how they exist,
I'm sure they'll
any of
probably
this
just
stuff.
do like the regular cast that everybody knows. I don't think they're gonna go too in depth for the people that
Yeah,
may
but
not
see,
know.
since they're creating the problem of Galactus, they can create the solution to it and hide it in plain sight. That's why I said that.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
It's
I
like
understand. I'm
is there.
for somebody for me and you who know, Marvel. I'm looking at it from a generic perspective. Somebody that might not know coming in is just
Okay,
like, what the hell is this?
yeah,
That watch,
okay,
the people that watch the cartoons, they may not know all the other ones outside of the cartoons that were portrayed and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
because they could be like the Xavier Institute is there, and then they show you a kid, and he's just tinkering with like fucking uh pool noodles or something, fucking pipe cleaners even.
right,
But he's making like automatons out of them somehow. And they're like, how the fuck is this kid doing that? And they never give you a name. They just show you the camera pan by the guy and somebody makes a comment. They don't even have to make a comment. They can just pan the camera by this kid making something out of nothing that shouldn't exist and be like, that's Forge. The kid who helped Iron Man in the third movie, they could be like that kid that helped Tony Stark fix his fucking machines.
mm,
That was Forge. You just didn't know it yet.
true. I mean, that would be smart. He said, "Got a question for you guys. How do they explain mutants popping up? Oh, I mean, they've already talked about this. I think they're going to do it through Scarlet Witch, the Scarlet Witch show.
Yeah, it's like you
She's
already
gonna
said that she was there and her brother were there at one point.
right,
So mutants already existed. They never explained anything about it. They just called her Wanda and kept it quiet, because they couldn't do too much with Fox owning the rest of it. But
right.
since that problem's out of the way, you could be like, they're already there. You just didn't know. They stay in hiding.
Or Scarlet Witch can be like, just like in the
Yeah.
comics, she can alter reality and be like, now people are mutants or whatever the case may be, just tied into the TV show.
You can even say Tony Stark and them when they were using the Infinity Gauntlet and they wished people back, they brought them back and they got changed because they had fucking the power of the Infinity Stones in them and it altered their DNA and now they're mutants. This Eternals movie is coming out. You could use that to explain it. You could be like, these people are thousands of years old, like Thanos. They've been around forever, eternity, aeons compared to humanity. Some and they all, they landed on Earth and they experimented on humans back in the day, and now mutants are there, and they just finally starting to manifest. Like you can explain this in so many different ways. It's comic book logic, so you can
just throw
say
stuff
what
out
they,
there. It just works. It's like, okay.
you know,
All right.
it,
But I guess real quick before we get out of here, who do you want to see Keanu Reeves cast as in Marvel? Go.
oh man, everybody like it's Keanu, so oh man, but I mean. They already showed the Grandmaster, so I can't say him, but I think that would have been like just dope if he was the Grandmaster. But there's a character known as the Champion, and he was basically you just couldn't defeat this guy in hand-to-hand combat,
Mm.
weapons combat, none of that. Like he was just the best fighter in all of it. Like I think it'd be dope if they just made Keanu basically like come be Neo, but under the Marvel banner.
Okay.
Like
Okay. I have two. Either Silver Surfer or the Taskmaster.
oh my god. Okay, Silver
Keanu
Surfer.
Keanu as the Taskmaster?
I
What?
get you with Taskmaster, yeah. It's like I get you on the Silver Surfer, but Taskmaster would be so dope because you could have him do the fucking scene from the Matrix, just shot in a different way. You remember how he was sitting there programming himself with fighting styles?
Right.
and he was sitting there, and they just had the TV screen, and then him laying there, and he was just getting programmed. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can literally reshoot that, but in a more comedic way, where it's like him sitting in a chair, like, and it's almost the exact same setup as it was for the Matrix, but he's got like a bag of like Doritos or something, and it's like a movie on the screen, and then he's just like, now I fight like Bruce Lee, you know, it's like he's watching Naruto, and now he's Naruto, you know, like
I'm
that
saying
would just
Keanu Reeves is Taskmaster. Make it happen, Marvel. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. That's our time. People sleep. Where can they find you if they want to talk to you offline?
Yeah, right. For now, it's Sleepyboy713 on Twitter, Sleepyboy86 over here. That's the boy is spelled with an I, not a Y. It was taken, and yeah, I'm gonna have to work. Like, I'm gonna sit here with Tech, and we're gonna work on consolidating all this to one name to make this easier. But yeah, I'll give it to him so he can put it in the links. I guess that'll be easiest for everybody.
Yep.
So
And
look
this
for me in the links.
this will be in the links on YouTube. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. I got to throw that out there, even though we are on this platform. This will be up tomorrow. For those of you that are watching today and may have missed it or want the audio version, I'm still working on getting this on Spotify and other media platforms, so bear with me. But this will be definitely be up on YouTube same time tomorrow, 10 a.m. And I appreciate you all being here, and we are out here. Peace, everybody.